Mark Savage with Savage on Wheels. Today's test drive, this week's test drive, is the 2020 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. Why is it a cross? A cross means crossover. It's not an Eclipse sports car. So if you look at this thing, you're not going to think, hey, sports car. But obviously, Mitsubishi, looking for a good name, it's already owns the Eclipse name. And I just like the looks of this thing. I think it's a beautiful looking car, or crossover. I like the lines that come up along here. It works through the door handles, goes all the way back here to the cool tail lights. It's got a very nice look to it, a sharp look, yet it's a value-oriented crossover. These start around $24,000. The fanciest one, of course, is what they give me to test drive, and that one goes for about $32,000. Still, well under like the $35,000, $36,000 average price of a car these days. But Mitsubishi's been struggling. There's no secret about that. It doesn't have a lot of sales, but it has been growing now for the last 7 or 10, 15 years now, and they're up to 121,000 vehicles. I know that doesn't sound like a lot. Next on my list when I was looking online was Mazda at 268,000, so a lot more. But a nice looking vehicle. They've put some different things on here. They've got the cladding that goes around to kind of protect the wheels and make it look a little sharper, I think. Some people don't like the cladding. I think it's a good looking thing for the vehicle. Very nice looking wheels that they put on it. So let's take a drive in it, and I'll tell you a little more about it here. But I got to show you one thing, and I'm sorry, and Mitsubishi's going to hate me for this, but look at the back end of this car. And while I love that profile view, I'm sorry, this says Pontiac Aztec to me. And I've shown it to a couple of people, and everyone seems to agree. And I hate to say it, folks, but Pontiac Aztec, not a big seller.
No, stop!
So, let's take a look. The car is really an okay car, but I'm a little questioning of this back end. So we're inside. This is the SEL model, which is the top of the line for the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. And I think it's a nice looking interior. We got leather seats and a very attractive looking, I think, layout that goes here. Unfortunately, this is not a touch screen. This is all controlled. You can control it in various ways, but there's this little panel down here, which I know I've said bad things about this in the past, and I agree. I still don't like this, and I don't like the little knobs when they do that too. I like a touch screen, but this is fine if you're sitting still. You can slide it over and pick your channels and so forth. It's just when you're driving, not an easy thing to do. We got temperatures. We got dual temperature here, so that's a nice thing. But it's on this SEL model. We got a heated steering wheel. Got high and low for the heated seats. All standard on this model at $32,000, so not too bad there. Push button start. Obviously the tilt steering wheel. We have smart cruise control here. The dynamic cruise control is what some of them call it. Whereas when you're on the highway, you can set it for how far you are behind someone, and then as someone pulls in front of you, it slows the car up. So a lot of good features. They got paddle shifters that come on this SEL. I tried them yesterday. It was kind of annoying because it kind of locks you in, and then it's like, okay, now I've got to keep doing this until I shift it to get it back into drive if I just wanted to do it automatically. But again, a nice looking interior, nice textured dash, and we got HomeLink overhead, and we got this giant sunroof here. Paul, I don't know. I'm going to have to turn this on, I think, to get this going. But I'll show you. We got a pretty good, well, not a giant sunroof, but a decent sized sunroof. And there we go.
And we're rolling.
So we're on the road in the Eclipse Cross now. And, it's a nice handling car. It has kind of a light feel to the steering wheel, but it responds pretty quickly here to any kind of input. There's decent power. I think it's 152 horsepower. This is a 1.5 liter turbo i4. The nice thing is it has a lot of torque, about 184 foot-pounds of torque. So that's what's nice about a turbo, is it gives you some instant starting power. Also, this has all-wheel drive. They call it super all-wheel steering or something. It's got a whole different name, but it's still the same thing. All-wheel drive here. And I wouldn't say it's got a lot of power, but it's decent. It's just fine. You know, it's not an overpowering vehicle, especially from a standing start. It's just, but you know, but you can kick it into kind of the overdrive gear and get that turbo to crank it up. So nice in that way. The ride, I would not compliment the ride too much. It's a little bouncy in here. You feel like every little bump you kind of, it's not severe, but you got the bounce going on all the time. So not as pleasant in that regard if you're in an area with a lot of bumpy roads. We are in Wisconsin, and trust me, there are a lot of bumpy roads here, too many frost heaves. So other than that, so far it tells me I'm getting about 28 miles per gallon. That's pretty good. The vehicle's rated, I believe, between 24 and 30 or so. So again, not bad that way either.